Brother Gary. Brother Gary. Andre Harrell went all the way up the road. I'm gonna let him go, but you run around too much. You'll get eaten by an animal. All right, let's get ready. You don't like the cat? Brother Gary don't like the cat. Apakaba.
Baik.
Samala pagi.
Pagi.
Pagi. That means good morning. Gary is crooked.
You look so happy today.
Happy today. Yeah, this is crooked as shit. There it is. So another day. I've been doing all the morning shows. I just did Frank Ski. I did Ricky Smiley. I'm gonna do. Gotta have a lot more to do. But try to do my part. We're all doing our part. We're all voting. We hope. I hope we're all voting. And I'm doing my part to get out to vote. The last 28 years it is. 28 years that I went on the road for each Democratic president. Worked directly with them in most cases. Helped to market, went in meetings with Obama and 3 or 4 other marketing experts talking about his reelection, and went on the road after getting promises from Democrats. President Obama promised, for instance, that he would do something about the prison industrial complex. And finally, at the end of his second term, Eric Holder, I remember we made a movie about, it was called, what was the name of the movie? We made a couple movies. One was called Lockdown USA. The second one was called The House I Live In. It was about the prison industrial complex, the new Jim Crow, even before 13, which of course was a groundbreaker. But House I Live In was a groundbreaker because it inspired activism. And we made a shift. It was an executive order that Eric Holder issued, the Attorney General, that said that first-time offenders would be sent to rehabs versus jail. Big deal. The minute Donald Trump got in office, he reversed that. Jeff Sessions, reversed that ruling, which sent a lot of our first-time offenders into rehab versus jail. I marched with Dr. Chavis, who was my mentor. Obviously supported all the efforts of the Nation of Islam for independence, but the real civil rights work that John Lewis did and on the ground stuff for systematic change, I worked with all of them over all the years. I spoke at the first Women's March. I was the first straight man to get an award from GLAAD for gay rights. I've been fighting for animal rights and fighting against the factory farming industry. And that's a big one. People don't know how big that is. That's why I have this pretty much eat to live. Put that back there. You know, if we don't change this shit, we're all gonna die. Every fucking body. Every single body is gonna die if we don't change the way we treat the environment and the way we eat. Because the way we eat is how we treat the environment. We're fucking up the environment by eating the poison that they're destroying the environment to create. The factory farming industry is the #1 cause of global warming. And global warming is destroying the planet. And then the #1 cause of all the cancer, not all different kinds of cancer, #1 cause of cancer is the factory farming industry. The #1 cause of hypertension, the greatest contributor to diabetes. All the things that we're dying from in this COVID generation, COVID moment, pre-existing health conditions caused by the food we eat and the diet we take in spiritually as well, but really it's the food, cause the anxiety and the sickness that comes from a bad lifestyle is a contributor as well, but it's listed as a Class A carcinogen, the meat you eat. Listed right there, it says Class A carcinogen. We feed our kids processed meat. Just like cigarettes, the processed meat, the turkey, the sausage, all the shit. Listed. They couldn't help it. They hate listing it because they're funded by these same industries that poison you. So the Cancer Society, American Cancer, whatever the fuck it's called, funded by the people who cause cancer. So that's why their research is so bullshit. The FDA, funded by the people who poison you. That's why their research is so bullshit. I'm not trying to scare you, and I want to give you, in my book, I'm going to give you ways out of the suffering, positive, inspired, uplifting ways so you can feel better. But I got to tell you that they're poisoning you. It's just such a glum, sad thing. Nigga, you eating poison. I got to tell you. And then you got to make a change. So that's on the ballot. Because what the factory farming industry is allowed to do to us. There are 2,000 carcinogens and other poisonous, hurtful products in our meat in America. 1,800 of them are allowed in America, and 2,000 are banned in Europe. There are more than 2,000, but 2,000 are banned in Europe. 1,800 of those 2,000 are allowed in our American food. Vote. All that shit's on the ballot. I know I went to my own, no, but you don't understand how important it is. But that's letting you know how bad the government lets corporations. The reason I occupied Wall Street every fucking day, I was out there every day, is because corporations control our government. And the greed, the toxic masculinity. The toxic masculinity is greed. The masculine energy, the divine masculine, is the gatherer. The divine feminine is the conscious, thoughtful, and the kind of leadership that's exuded through the divine feminine part of our characters is one that is less greedy and more nurturing. But the one that is exuded, men as gatherers and protectors, that's their job. This is a yogic philosophy now. We're going into something else. But it is toxic masculine leadership that is destroying this planet. And Camilla and even the Biden energy is more feminine based. I think my energy is mostly feminine based because I want compassion and love and thoughtfulness to lead. And I don't have to gather much because I already got too much shit. Come on in here, my day. Give me what it is. Oh, turmeric pill. Water. Turmeric. All right. Give me my water. Is that coconut water? I'm not supposed to drink that yet. Yeah, I gotta have just regular water. Wait, look, the light is going down. Voting. Everything I'm talking about is voting. You know, my yoga teacher, my first one from 25 years ago, she told me everything is political. And all these spiritual teachers who don't talk about politics, they're not doing all they can to realize their God's consciousness, because their dharma is to lift the collective, and you cannot lift the collective unless you're a part of it, and you have to have your voice be part of it, and your vote is that voice. So to say, oh, I'm with God and I don't talk about politics. Politics is in every effort you make. There's something political about saving the environment, caring about Mother Earth, caring about the animals, caring about each other. This requires a vote, not a selfish vote, but a vote to uplift the community and the collective, and that uplifts you. So yes, we gotta vote. Voting is the core. It's a responsibility. Yes, your children's life. You won't have a planet for your children to inhabit. Yeah, I don't want to be in the war. Trump saying he ain't leaving the White House. The CIA will take his ass out. FBI will take him out. I ain't worried about his ass. You know, I'm more worried, and you're talking about revolution or, a civil war. If Trump wins, the progressives, we like to march. We don't go out with guns. We put on masks. We go out. We're respectful. We don't generally riot. But when we go out there, that will bring out the militias with the guns. My friend bought a gun. They said that they were buying guns 50 to 1, white men to black men. 50. You always think black people got guns. Bullshit. White people got guns. Not all. Progressive whites don't want guns. They're anti-gun like me. I'm scared of guns. I don't fuck with guns. Last time I had a gun, I shot over the drug dealer's head. Well, he wasn't a drug. He was a robber. I was a drug dealer. I shot over his head. Bitch ass Russ. I missed on purpose. I was a kid. I was like 15. He had robbed me. And you can't rob niggas from Hollis. We murder. So I didn't really murder nothing. They gave me the gun. We chased him, and they gave me the gun. I shot over his head. The only time I ever held a gun in my life. So I missed. Bitch ass Russ missed. So that was my experience with a gun. I don't believe in guns. Black people don't have guns. If you go in a black, some black people, yeah, in the South, but not really niggas we know in the East. You got a gun, you're a criminal. That's how we used to view it. When we were, even as a 20-some-odd-year-old man, if I were to go into my friend's house and he was a mailman and he had a gun, I'd be like, man, you got a gun? Like, it would be like criminal. But white mailmen got guns. It's kind of like that's their right. They fought for it, whatever. And some black people observed that, but mostly black people don't have guns. And the example is when my friend Mayor bought a gun because he's afraid for his family. He's a 50-year-old marketeer, worked for me for 25 years. He said, I bought a gun, Russ. The guy told me that white men are buying guns at 50 to 1 black men. We don't want to get in that beef, but there's that possibility. And if that civil war were to occur, it would most likely come when Trump wins. Although he ain't going to win. But if he were to win, we would march like we did last time, and the militias would be out. But they don't go out on their own. They don't march. So we'll just have a few militia groups mad, and perhaps. But all of it, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what's going on in the mind of, or nor can I read the mind of the collective. I just know that we got to vote, and we got to win. We got to win to avoid that civil war we're talking about, and we got to win decisively. So he can't go declaring. It doesn't matter. He's getting put out to office, but it is a thought that and people are boarding up and protecting against what they think might happen if, in fact, they say if it's when Trump wins. I think if Trump wins, then it would be a problem because then we would march and then they would come out with their violence because we're not violent people and we don't have guns. Some have guns. I know some of the rappers from the South say, I got my gun. But, most black people, if you see a person with a gun, it's criminal in our mind. Progressives and blacks and other minorities. Jews ain't got no guns. You think Jews got guns? They don't, Gary. Not in the same percentage as white working class people. No, but the percentage of yes, people in trailer parks have guns more than people in ghettos. By far, way more. So let's forget that. The point is we got to vote. We got to vote, and I keep saying over and over again, today's the date, and I want you out there. If you haven't already voted, vote. You say tomorrow, I'm going to add this tomorrow. I'm going to take an excerpt for this and promote it for tomorrow. This is for tomorrow. This is the vote in the morning. Let's get some questions. How you doing today? What does it say? It says, Karen the waitress. Love and blessings to you too. Love and blessings to my sister. Who's that? I am. Let's see who Corey is. Hey, how you doing, brother?
Namaste.
Namaste.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you?
I'm kind of nervous for this election.
Be grounded in presence and try not to be too nervous and do the best you can, and no matter what the outcome, accept your duty, whatever it is. And that's the spiritual. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
But try not to be too nervous. But what's up? What do you think? Did you vote?
I'm gonna vote for Biden.
Yeah, good. I think that's the vote. I mean, I don't like to judge those who think differently. I have too many friends who are voting for Trump, and they have their reasons. Greedy, I think greedy. Well, I'm voting for my, or either it's greed if they're rich. If you're middle class, you vote for Trump. He never gave you a tax cut. Don't forget. And then it's greed, or someone said that Israel mattered to them. Someone said that, everybody's got their reasons, and they can have their reasons if they're informed. My reason is compassion, and I believe that we should have quality health care and quality education, and I think we should,
Healthcare should be free.
huh?
Healthcare should be free.
Healthcare should be free. Of course it should. That's not socialism. That's just common sense. The government should take care of the health care of the people who pay taxes. Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Amen.
Well, thank you for voting for Biden. I think that's the right vote, and I support you, and I support Americans who are thoughtful and make their choice. But I definitely feel like now is the time, and especially as an African American who never really had a fair shake, although I was very lucky, and a lot of people are very lucky. You see, I'm surprised they would abandon the collective, any of them, to vote for their own benefit when they know that the only reason they got where they are is because people march for them. White and black march for equality and for opportunity. And you talk about police brutality, there will never be a shift unless there's a systematic change. We got to make free prosecutors so that they can then decide who the bad cops are and then prosecute them. We can't have prosecutors controlled by the police unions. And the police reform bill, which is proposed by Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, that bill will ensure a shift. And then that will educate police, and that will change the police in a way that will make them safer for communities of color and communities in general. I know the Black Caucus sponsored the bill, but in the bill is hidden the most important part, which is systematic change. Forget a chokehold. It's about prosecutors. So we'll just keep pushing, and thank you for being a Biden voter, and thank you for coming on today. Have a beautiful day, man. God bless you.
God bless you, bro.
Peace.
One love.
One love. See who else we got here today. Oh, there's my baby. Press her. I haven't talked to her in a long time. Hello, my angel.
Hey, you.
How are you? Oh, hey, man.
I'm confused for a second. How are you?
I'm good.
I've been missing you.
Well, I miss you too. You look good. You done been through it all. You done had COVID, every fucking thing. You've had it all.
It's been a lot.
But look at you. You look good.
I really talk about that.
But-
I just love you.
I love you too. Remember the community got together, got her a wheelchair. How that wheelchair still rolled around perfect?
It's still rolling around perfect. Actually, I just painted it not too long ago. Hold on. Turn it around, Papa. Alex is going to turn it around for me.
For those who are viewing and never heard this, our sister, we had a community. We were on so much. We had the same people all the time. We spoke and we were a community. We got in touch with each other. Love Black Lives Matter. And they donated, the community donated to help her to get a new wheelchair. It was a collective effort. I put a little bit in, but then the rest, they put some in too. And then we got us a new chair. And Anna's been an inspiration to us because she'd had a lot of health issues, but yet she's smiling more than the rest of these niggas. These people got all these resources. They think that the resources have something to do with their happiness. Anna is proof that happiness is in the heart, and she's inspired everyone. So thank you for checking in. I'll be on a lot more now that I'm promoting this book. This book is about the health of our community. Yeah.
I'm going to order it for myself and my whole family for Christmas.
Oh, that's sweet. Pre-order it, and let's start a new lifestyle, which is in the book. And there's all kinds of ways and alternative kinds of ways to do anything that I promote in the book. I talk about going to that cryo chamber. That shit's $30 a day in America. You can't do that. But you can get a cold bath. You can get a hot and a cold bath and shower and promote circulation, even if you don't get in an infrared sauna and get in. So I got a hack for everything. And also the vegan diet that's supposed to be so expensive, we have a whole set of recipes that we can make cheaply. You know, we don't need to fake meat. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I like it. I invested in it. But it will come down in cost. In the short term, some of the investment in alternative meats and all these vegan products are expensive, but then some of them are very cheap. And so I've given you the cheap alternatives. And I shouldn't say cheap. The more healthy, in many cases, alternatives are affordable. So that's what we try to do. And plus, doctors are expensive as fuck. So eating right, a little more for eating right should not be too big a problem.
Exactly. And remember, I told you I have a garden, so I grow a lot of my own fruits and vegetables.
That's in the book,
I'm
too.
allergic to a lot of the pesticides.
You hear what she said? She has a garden and she grows her own vegetables. That's in the book, too. I don't give a fuck if it's a fire escape. You can do that, too. I love you so much. God bless you. Let me keep it moving. Let me keep it moving. Thank you.
Okay.
That's my baby.
Good night.
Good night. That's my baby. I love her. So, I have a. Let me see who we got here. Wait, don't let me see. Let's talk a Rap Shot. I know he's on another day, but I like Rap Shot. That's my nigga. Rap Shot, what up, baby?
Man, I'm having a good day for the first time in like 2 years. Pretty sweet.
What do you mean a good day for the? You have good days. What's wrong? What's right?
I just got news from my lawyer that I'm getting a nice little settlement. Basically, I got hit by a hit-and-run driver like 2 years ago. He's a retired fireman. He fleed the scene of the crime. I was the pedestrian. He struck my leg. And the year after that, which was last year, I totaled my truck. So now I owe the rest of the finance on that truck. But today I just got news that I'm getting cash from that settlement so I can clear that finance and get another truck. So it's pretty sweet, man. I had somebody watching over me. That's all I know.
Well, good. I always see with your new struggle. Now you have a new revelation. That's great. So good for you, big bro. Did you vote, nigga? Did you vote?
No, I'm in Canada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right, you can vote. I'm an Indonesian nigga. I voted from the Indonesian industry. Huh? You're not an American? He's an American. What are you talking about? So wait, I stop smoking. I voted through the Indonesian industry. I had to send my ballot to Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia, and my vote's been in for 2 weeks. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I would have had to fly to America to vote. I would have flown. It's like 20-something hours. My kids just left here though, but they couldn't carry. But none of that. They went home to vote. Their mother said. Their mother just made up an excuse. Took them home too early, but they took them home to vote. Anyway, good to see you. God bless you, and congratulations on your success.
Thanks.
I'm always here, by the way. Erica, what's up?
Hi, Rush.
Hi, darling. I can't see you. I'm looking at your blankets.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how to fix that. Let me see.
Up top right hand side. You spin it around. There you go. Hi, baby.
Oh wait, turn it back. Here we go.
What's up?
Hi. I contacted you a long time ago regarding a book that I wrote.
Somebody said they're voting for Kanye. I love Kanye as a person and as a creator and as an inspiration. But I think there's a lot at stake. And, him or any of the other artists, I don't know that they're political scientists. And I think we should be listening to Noam Chomsky's of the world or brilliant, Cornel West. I think we should be, if we want to listen to anybody, or we can easily study ourselves and make a choice which would really affect our future. So anyway, I love Kanye for a lot of good reasons, but voting for him is not on my agenda.
Rush, I wanted to say something about him in particular.
Okay.
I saw him on David Letterman, and he was talking about mental illness.
Yes.
And it was very interesting because I wrote a book about mental illness because I have a similar journey. And I'm a fine artist as well. I actually interned for your brother in New York a long time ago in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, and I work with Charlotte.
Oh, all right. So we have common ground. What's up? Tell me, what did you want to say about Kanye?
He was on David Letterman not long ago talking about mental illness.
Yes.
And his journey in mental illness. And it was very interesting because not many stars get up and talk about that part of their
You know,
lives.
well, what about Charlemagne? He talks a lot about mental illness and about, black people being, especially black people, they act like it don't exist. And conservatives too, though. Let's go back to voting. Conservatives act like it, they're like, oh, be a man. All kind of dumb shit they say. So we're all suffering in some ways and some more than others. And it's not something we can just shake off. So I'm glad that Kanye talked about that. I'm glad that Charlemagne talked about that. And you have something to say. Tell me about your book.
Yes, I wrote a book about my mental illness, and it was about my journey and the beginning of my journey, and just trying to weed through finding medications that work for me, because it's trial and error, to find something that actually works for you. Doctors are just practicing merely on you.
I
And
agree.
You're just at the mercy of drugs.
Listen. When I talk about Eat to Live, the book also talks about mental health, of course, a little bit. And it talks a lot about mental functions and about brain foods and about ways to promote clarity and also calmness. Meditation is helpful to many people because when the mind is still, we get to be at ease and the anxiety goes down and we can see God's world in front of us. When the mind is totally still, we see nothing but God. So everything we take, the anti-anxiety pills and all of these things are to settle the mind so we can see instead of the fluctuations of the mind. So the settled mind is a state of yoga or Christ consciousness. So there's a lot of talk about mental health in the book that I have here that you can pre-order. I'm not sure that will help every illness, of course not, but it certainly is a part of a practice for seeking mental health. So yes, doctors sometimes just give you drugs and they don't give you the natural. And there's many brain foods also that will clear the vessels, which sometimes get clogged through diet. And there's all kinds of things. And you're right, doctors are just, what's the word? Testing, So tell me, you gotten through it. You seem very clear.
Yes, I've gotten through it. I mean, until the age of 30, I was at their mercy. But Abilify, a new drug that came out when I was in the 1990s, I guess it was, Abilify came about. And that's a very good drug because it brings back your creativity level, your intellect, your personality. Because I had been on Haldol for so long, but the Abilify brought me back. And I was able to go to college, get my degree, and actually write a book about my experience. But it hasn't been published yet. But I wrote about my experience, hoping to get it out there to everyone eventually.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I have a publisher, a black woman who's attached to many people, Simon & Schuster, attached to a lot of the top publishers. I'm not sure who she would use to publish your book, but a black woman who's publishing my book. I put her in between me and the publisher because a lot of the work that has to be done properly, I needed to have done properly. And this black woman understood and is now publishing this book and has an option on my life rights, which I've written that book too, but it's not done yet. My life story, I wrote that last one. And I wrote this one, another journey, of my life story from a seat of reflection. And this black woman named Mocha, and Mocha Publishing, maybe, Mocha Media. She's a beautiful woman, and she's in the publishing world. We don't have too many black women who run their own publishing companies. She's partners with a major, public company, but she is an owner. So, so I don't know, that at some point you send through to what's the address, Gary? Rush? No, well, she could send us a synopsis of a book. G. Foster at Rush Communication.
G-Force at Rush Communications.
.com. G. Foster, like G. Foster, like Foster, at rushcommunication.com. And then you can send,
Okay.
so maybe
Thank
she
you.
could just look at the synopsis and see if it's something for her. Mostly she's doing hip hop and interesting books, and they hired or partnered with her because she has such good outreach in the community. So anyway, God bless you. Make sure you vote if you haven't. Have you voted?
I I voted
And you voted for Biden, right?
yes.
Okay. Everybody's so mad when you don't, but I'm glad you did. God bless you. Have a good one.
You too.
What's up, Adrian?
Man, listen, man, y'all, man. One thing folks gotta, they need to start listening, man. You got it right there. Eat to live. We all are not perfect, but one thing for sure, and I'm gonna bear witness to, when I start listening, the yoga, again, I'm eating a little better. I lost 20 pounds. What? You know what I mean? My skin, I'm trying to get my skin. I want to be 63 shining like that, man. You know, brother guy, y'all looking like celebrities up there. You don't even need, how they put the makeup and all. You don't even need that stuff.
Nah, I don't fuck with makeup. I'm a grown ass man. I need no makeup.
But listen, I wrote a book, man. Your book is what's happening. I would love to, after your book, to put it in your hands, man, because a lot of the focus came out of being able to meditate, being able to do some yoga, being able to slow down enough to be responsive to what's around me, and was able to get the help that I needed, and slow down enough, and to have a clear mind to be able to get it done. So I salute you for that, man.
Well, brother, listen, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're meditating. I know you voted. I know you brought people to the polls. And I know you did your part. And so I appreciate you echoing the messages of health and wellness. In the yoga scripture, a lot of it is made of the 7 chakras. And the first chakra is the Muladhara chakra. It's the root chakra. And then the Swastisthana, which is, a lot of your creativity sits there. And Manipura, the heart chakra, it goes up. But they're all spinning at the same time. It's just a way of thinking more than it is actual science. But the Muladhara chakra is the root chakra. They say that if you don't take care of the root chakra, you can't serve the Sahasrara, or the top chakra. This reunion with God will never happen until you take care of yourself. And people always sometimes bypass to take care of the self and go out and wear themselves out while helping the world. You can't serve God unless you serve the self, because God is in you. So the first part of God that you have to recognize is the self. And when you fully know the self, then you do know God as well. So this practice of taking care of the self, of meditating, of putting circulation in your body, of eating the right food, all of these things, this is God's first request of you, to strengthen the self so you can be a great servant of the collective. And that's it. So I got to get back to pick up some other people. God bless you, man. Continue on your path, baby. Salute. Oh, my God. Hi. Who she look like?
How you doing?
You look so familiar, but go ahead.
Thank you, as always. So I was listening to some of the comments of how people saying, mental health. And she was talking about the drug Abilify. I don't agree with that Abilify should be used for anyone. That drug induces suicide thoughts, and they get it a lot to children, especially people under the age of 18. They diagnose them with bipolar disorder, with depression disorder, and honestly, when it comes to your book and referring to the foods we eat, different foods help you to vibrate at a higher frequency, help the mind to vibrate at a higher frequency as well. So once you eat cleaner, you think cleaner. Just paying attention to what you eat, a lot of situations when it comes to our own community, sugars, snacks, junk food, that's all garbage for the mind in general, but we give it to our children. And then, we want to say, our kid has ADHD, or they have, problems with concentrating in school. It's all about what we give them. And when you're settling and saying, oh, it's too expensive to eat clean, it's really not. It's really not at all.
You are a great advocate. I don't want to judge what works because, some of us I have a lot of nutritionists, right, around me. And I'm racing to finish the website so we can have the 21-day challenges in January when the book hits in December. So people are pre-ordering the book. And I have a lot of nutritionists, and I'm trying to gather, because what is an Ayurvedic doctor? What is a medical doctor but loves modern health technology and modern health choices? And they're all vegan. And what is a, yesterday I had this brain surgeon, not brain surgeon, what's a neuro, but she's also an Ayurvedic doctor. She's like brilliant, many different things. And we're putting it all together. And sometimes, like Maaz Garcia, who's not vegan, very famous nutritionist, he's very Western and Eastern. Like he'll tell you, go get the chemo, but don't eat this, don't eat that, do this, put this in your body, have these, vitamin injections that rebuild the body. But of course, you may need chemo. You may need a drastic one of these poison pills to kill the poison, and you have to put the good part back in. And so, sometimes drugs, modern Western drugs, are useful and critical for some people. But if we do the right things with our foods and with the right nutrients and even maybe supplements, sometimes, the herbs and the rest, then we never need, or we might not ever need, those medical drugs. They told me I needed drugs. So you're 50, you should start taking this. Get the fuck out of here. I'm 63 now. I don't take none of that shit. What are you kidding me? So, but when I was young, also, not young, but when I first started yoga, so that's not that long ago. That was 22 years ago, 23 years ago. I was told that I used to get colds, and I had just gone vegan, but I hadn't really, I was cheating with dairy, and I had these deviated septum, so I'd get sick, and it would get clogged. The minute they said they wanted to do operations, and they were adamant, and every doctor said the same thing, I stopped eating dairy. I haven't had the problem since. Over 20 years, I haven't even thought about a deviated septum. It's the crap you put in you in almost every case. In almost every case, as you suggested.
It is, and there's great documentaries, but people don't want to watch them. People don't want to pay attention, and it's like it's all around you. It's not just your food you're eating, even the soaps that you put in your body. Your body is covered in pores. You're absorbing all of that. And I mean, I personally actually create my own soaps. I have my own little holistic business where I make all natural soaps. Just because the simple fact is that I don't want to put a chemical in my body, not really understanding like, hey, it's still getting it through my pores, and it's going to affect me. And eventually, using that product over and over again affects your mental health. So it's like it all goes back to what you put into you, and on the outside of you still affects you all the way around.
Absolutely. That's in my book, too. The whole story about all, you spray this deodorant, it's got aluminum. The rise of cancer is directly affected to the rise of it. It's insane that you put that aluminum under your arm, and it causes cancer, and it does for so many reasons. There's so many ways that it helps to create. And then, it's illegal everywhere. It ain't illegal in America. And most of the shit we're talking about, even the poisons that are in the creams and in the soaps and stuff, a lot of that stuff is banned in Europe. It's already known, proven carcinogen, proven to cause sickness, and yet they still put it in our foods. I don't like to scare people. Somebody said that my book is gloomy. This book is not. It's about uplifting you and giving you better choices. But when you tell them the choices that they're making, it breaks their heart. And they don't like to change their lifestyle, so they like to hold on to it. If you go to your mama's house and your mama says, "It's Thanksgiving, I got her turkey, I got her this, I put some pig feet because I know you like pig feet. And, let's go, this Thanksgiving dinner." And you say, "Oh, my God, Mama, thank you, but I bought a tofurkey that I'm already cooking, and I want to use that, and maybe I'll eat some of your gravy, but I really got my own gravy too, Mama." But, when you say all that shit, they get mad at you. They get mad because you want to save your life and teach them how to save theirs. So it's hard. My last book, before this book details all the pre-existing health conditions and how to get out of it. But when you read what the food does to you, it makes you sick and makes you mad because you're doing it. So you have to just have a little toughness to know that you got to change. Because when you read the truth about what you're doing, you have to shift away. So I'm giving all the alternatives, but still, The Happy Vegan was the name of the book. And I wrote it in a way that with love and as soft as possible, as sweet as possible. Man, people, because most people who read this stuff already are interested. But those who aren't, who my friends who read it, that was an angry book. Angry, no, I said it nicely. But it's hard for people to digest. We have to frame, this is why even this debate about politics, as we talk about voting. That's why this debate is so difficult, because even social media with the algorithm hell, you may like something about a candidate, but they're so angry. The left is angry too. Don't think the left ain't angry. The right is angry. There's no dialogue. We're not listening. If we're progressives, and I'm a progressive, you have to listen. You can't just judge and demonize everyone who thinks differently. We got to go out and vote. I went out and voted for Biden. Of course. Of course I voted for Biden because I care about equal high quality health care. I care about equal quality, high quality education. I care about women's reproductive rights. I can go on and on so much. I care about the prison industrial complex unraveling its chokehold on America. I care about the politics of corporate businesses running our country. And I think that the Democrats are a little bit better to negotiate with to change these things. And so that's why I made my vote. But I'm not going to judge and be angry with those who voted differently. They have their reasons, and if they're personal reasons and they're selfish, then God is not going to judge them. But we know that as we work for the collective, we know that when we serve a greater good than ourselves, then we benefit. Selfishly, I vote for the collective. I vote for uplifting everyone, and that makes me happy. And that makes me a healthier, happier spiritually, I'm happier and healthier when I vote or I work to help everyone. And I hope that many people feel that way, because then we all get to the promised lands that we imagine. Anyway, God bless you, sis. Thank you. And you're right. The food we eat has everything to do with our mental health as well. There's another way in beside medical doctors, Western medicine, in many, many cases. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can pre-order the book, guys. It wouldn't kill you. One more, last one. I think we got, didn't we? Oh, look at O'Neill. Look at O'Neill. Request O'Neill. I want to talk to O'Neill. What you watching for, nigga? Come on up here. See him? Say viewers. You can't ask. Can you request someone who's... Yeah, you can request someone who's just watching now. He probably with his baby don't want to be on the screen. All right. Well, just make sure you vote. You know, isolation is sickness, and being connected is everything. God's consciousness comes when we are in union with the rest of living beings, because the yogi knows his body and mind is not him. It's the spirit. The Holy Spirit is the watcher, and you are, in essence, the watcher. So vote for a bigger collective than yourself. It's my recommendation. What's up, bro? I can't see him, but that's all right. He can talk. Hello? Cut him off. All right. Namaste, which means the God in me acknowledges and sees the God in you. Who do you think is going to win? I'm praying that Biden wins, honestly. It's a real prayer for humanity and for a shift. You know, one thing I said a couple times, that I see all over the world. I have offices in 13 countries, and they're amazed. My main office is in Singapore. They're very sophisticated people, and they're looking at America like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Hey, what the fuck? You know, and America, they used to want to be Americans, and now they're shocked by the actions of Americans and about the divisive nature of the American collective. And they don't know what to do, because they used to want to be and aspire to be, or look up, they used to look up to some of the American cultural and philosophical ideals, and now it's not there. So we got to get back. You know, I'm not a hardcore patriot. Yeah, of course I believe, I'm from America, I love America, but I want it to be a place where equality is one of our priorities, where education and opportunity is a priority, and I want it to be where inclusivity is a priority. So that's why I'm voting. All right, that's it. I'm going to class. You guys have a beautiful evening, and make sure tomorrow's your last day, or today, when I'm going to air this today. I'll save it, but then you're gonna cut it up, right? All right, for the podcast. Maybe I'll just give it to you. Namaste. God in me sees the goddess in you. Bye. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe